Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
Welcome to the Crypto 101 show, where we dive into the world of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, blockchain, and all the technology with it. Whether you're experienced or a beginner to crypto, our goal is to break down complex concepts and make it easy for you to understand the basics. From Bitcoin to altcoins, we'll cover it all in a way that's easy to digest and provide listeners with the knowledge and understanding they need to make informed decisions and better critical thought. Sit back, relax, and let's simplify your understanding of cryptocurrencies on the Crypto 101 show. The Bitcoin Series Part 13. Bitcoin and the Global South. Adoption in Emerging Economies. I need to start off by saying this is not financial advice, so if you're looking for that, the show isn't for you. The content of this podcast episode is for informational purposes only. The opinions expressed here are not meant to be taken as financial investment or any other advice. Welcome back to the Bitcoin Series Part 13. Today we're shifting away from the West and zooming in on the countries where Bitcoin isn't just a trend, it's a lifeline. Places like Nigeria, Argentina, Venezuela, and El Salvador, where the local currency collapses, the banks fail, and the government can't be trusted. In these environments, Bitcoin isn't speculative, it's survival. This episode isn't just about adoption rates or headlines, it's about sovereignty, justice, and the legacy of colonialism. Because for many countries in the Global South, the financial system has always been rigged, and Bitcoin may offer a chance to write a new chapter. Let's get into it. Question 1. Why is Bitcoin growing fastest in places like Nigeria, Argentina, and El Salvador? If you only followed Bitcoin from a Western lens, you'd think it's a luxury tech investment or a hedge for Silicon Valley bros and Wall Street gambler types. But look closer and you'll see something different. In places like Nigeria, Argentina, and El Salvador, Bitcoin isn't a toy or a speculative asset, it's an actual lifeline. Because in these countries, the traditional financial system is not just flawed, but completely failed them. In Nigeria, the government restricted cash and pushed a central bank digital currency no one wanted. In response, people turned to Bitcoin, not because it was trendy, but because it was free. In Argentina, inflation has made the peso almost unusable. Families use Bitcoin and stablecoins to preserve value across generations because their savings would disappear otherwise. In El Salvador, the experiment is controversial, but for many, Bitcoin offers a way to receive remittances without losing 30% to middlemen. It's also the first time many citizens have had access to any form of digital money. These aren't stories about speculation. These are stories about survival. When your local currency loses half its value in a year, when you can't open a bank account without political permission, or when sending money across borders costs more than feeding your family for a week, then Bitcoin becomes more than a symbol. It becomes the alternative, and that's why adoption in the Global South isn't lagging, but it's ahead. Question 2. What does hyperinflation teach us about Bitcoin's role? When people talk about Bitcoin being sound money, they're often not speaking from theory. They're speaking from lived experience. For millions across the Global South, hyperinflation isn't some abstract economic idea. It's the monster that ate their savings, their pensions, and their future. In places like Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Argentina, and Lebanon, people have watched their national currency collapse. And not slowly either, but rapidly. We're talking prices doubling in a week, people needing wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread, doctors, teachers, workers getting paid in money that's worthless by payday. So what does Bitcoin have to do with this? It's an escape hatch. Bitcoin has a fixed supply. It doesn't change based on elections or coups. It doesn't care who's in charge. It doesn't inflate based on war, corruption, or failed policy. It's just math. Blocks every 10 minutes, 21 million coins, that's it. For people in collapsing economies, Bitcoin offers three things fiat can't: a store of value that their government can't print into oblivion, a global network that lets them receive remittances, donations, or payments without banking approval, a permission system, no ID, no gatekeeper, no politics. This is extremely important because it's for survival, and to be fair, it's not easy either. People still need internet access, education, and secure storage. And yes, Bitcoin is volatile, but for someone holding a currency that loses 100% of its value in a year, Bitcoin might actually be the stable option. We also see creative use cases in high inflation countries where using Bitcoin to price groceries when local currency is too unstable, they can get paid in Bitcoin through freelance platforms, or they turn to Bitcoin ATMs or peer to peer exchanges when banks shut down or freeze funds. So, what does hyperinflation teach us? That trust in money isn't guaranteed, and once it breaks, it's nearly impossible to get the trust back. Bitcoin can't fix a broken economy, but it can give individuals a way out. And for millions living in economic chaos, that's not speculation, it's preservation. Question 3. Can Bitcoin become a tool for post colonial economic sovereignty? This is more of a deeper layer, not just how can Bitcoin help people survive broken systems, but can it help them rebuild new ones? For much of the global south, the economic story didn't start with Bitcoin. It started with colonialism, and even after independence, many countries remain economically tethered to the former colonizers. Real quick, post colonial economic sovereignty refers to the ability of a nation that was formerly colonized to control its own economy free from external interference. We're talking currencies still controlled or backed by Europe, like the CFA franc in parts of Africa or IMF and World Bank loans that came with strings attached, privatization, austerity, and dependency. And lastly, resource rich nations extracting wealth for foreign companies while their own people stay in poverty. That's the pattern of neocolonialism: control without occupation. And for many, the traditional banking system isn't just broken, it's a tool of global inequality. So, where does Bitcoin come in? Bitcoin flips the script. There is no colonial bank, no central IMF, no gatekeeper, just a peer to peer monetary system that no outsider can control, freeze, or devalue. It's not just about escaping inflation, it's about reclaiming agency. In countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and Argentina, we're already seeing this. Entrepreneurs using Bitcoin to trade internationally without having to rely on unstable local currencies. Protest movements accepting Bitcoin when bank accounts are frozen. Developers building tools and apps in their own language for their own people, not waiting on Silicon Valley to care. This is economic autonomy, not imposed from the top down, but built from the ground up. But there is a nuance. Bitcoin doesn't guarantee post colonial liberation. It's a tool, not a savior. It can still be used by elites, it can still be hoarded. It still requires internet literacy and security. So the real question becomes, who builds the infrastructure? Who educates the people? Who controls the on ramps? Because if those are still foreign, exploitive, or extractive, then the same colonial patterns just repeat with different tech. But what if communities control their own nodes, wallets, exchanges, and education? Then yes, Bitcoin can absolutely be a tool of post colonial economic sovereignty, not just to survive the old system, but to imagine and build a new one. As we wrap up, Bitcoin isn't just digital money, it's political culture and personal in the global south. It's being used to evade collapsing currencies, resist authoritarian regimes, and even reclaim post colonial financial independence. But that's only the beginning. Bitcoin doesn't fix history, it gives people a tool to build something new from the ashes of the old. And whether it succeeds or not, that depends on who controls the narrative, who builds the infrastructure, and whether we globally choose to share power, not just code. Thanks for listening to Part 13. I hope you come back for part 14, where we ask, what does the future of work and Bitcoin look like? Until then, stay curious, stay grounded. I want to be extremely upfront that I try my best to leave all of my opinions out of this. I know this is very condensed and simplified, but I want you to gain your own understanding and beliefs and not be persuaded by me. I hope this helped you gain a better grasp of it. Please remember to share, follow, and subscribe to our mailing list and to your favorite podcast app for future episodes so you can gain more with your crypto knowledge. If this sparked something in you or made you question what's possible, I'd love to hear about it. And if you found this valuable, share it, tag someone who needs to hear it, or just sit with it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Crypto 101 Show. If you would like to join our email list, email us at thecrypto101show@gmail.com. For more helpful tips, subscribe in your favorite podcast app and leave a review so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.